And my microphone was muted this whole time. Yes. All right. Let me start over. Hi, kids. Uh, welcome to episode 7 of of The Abyss. Episode 7, your host, The Eternal Abyss. And we started out with a bang. How long had I been going? Let me look. Oh, my goodness. I think it was at least a good solid 5 minutes. My microphone was muted. No idea. All right. So, as I was saying, I took a very brief pause from doing any sort of streaming or collaborating with Cocaine Mitch, as I have done in the past. I took a quick break from that because I was having some throat issues in the past 2 weeks. And now my throat is much, much better. So I can babble on and on and on. So that's awesome. I have several topics that I want to talk about today. I prepared a few things, a few visuals at least, so you don't just stare at a logo the whole time or at a flashing green circle whenever I decide to open my mouth and talk about several things. So, one of the big news of the day that was trending, I'm gonna cover that first, and then I'll cover stuff that happened kind of in the week. One of the big trends today. Oh, also another thing, very briefly, I am standing with my mic, so I may hit my mic stand, I may bump it, I may move things around, so you may hear some noises. I'm gonna try and keep it as steady as possible to make sure that we don't have any sort of mishaps or anything like that. So, let me bring up the first topic Where'd that go? Here we are. Boom. Here it is. Big news of the day. Big. Extra big. Is that Stephanie Grisham, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, is the new White House press secretary because our wonderful Sarah Huckabee Sanders is stepping down. I'm amazed I'm not that amazed that she lasted that long because she seems like an incredible person for that position. I mean, she was able to handle those fake news, liberal media lapdogs as if they were nothing. So I am amazingly surprised, though, that she stayed in that position for so long. And now we're going to get the comm director for our First Lady, Melania Trump. She's going to take over that role. I honestly don't know too much about her. I don't know too much about her history. I do know one thing. The left is not liking this choice. So, I mean, they won't like any choice. Let's not fool ourselves here. They're not going to like any choice that is made. However, the fact that they're particularly seething about this woman makes me think that it was a good choice. It makes me think that she could be a good choice for a job. Hopefully, she'll be able to bring that fire, bring that no nonsense, ain't gonna take no BS from no ridiculous fake news people, and continue that tradition and make it her own. I sincerely wish her well, because that's a lion den. It is definitely a lion's den, and I did not envy Sarah Sanders in that position. Did not envy it at all, because it's just not. It's not something you want to get into voluntarily. I wouldn't think so. I honestly wouldn't. You may hear some chimes from my computer too. I have to find a way to completely silence everything. I haven't gotten around to doing that just yet. So little by little, we're going to be trying to improve and professionalize the show a little bit. Make it more streamlined, clean it up, give it some nice visuals. Who knows? Eventually, you may even see the face behind the voice. We'll see. I'm not sure if I'm prepared to do that just yet. So this is the big news of the day. So I think that's pretty awesome. I think that's pretty cool. But we can move on to the next order of business here. Today, another thing that was trending today is this. Let me bring it up to the screen here. Close that. Close that. I am the eternal boomer. Let's not forget that. So I may have a boomer moment here and screw everything up. It is Bourdain Day. Seems like it's Anthony Bourdain's birthday today. So this guy, he's an asshole. I'm not afraid to say it. I don't care if he's dead. I don't care if he committed suicide. I'm not really big on this. You don't speak ill of the dead. I mean, if someone... I understand the reason why that exists, because the dead can't defend themselves. But when there's documented proof that you're pretty much an a-hole, yeah, that pretty much confirms it. It doesn't really matter if you're alive or dead at that point, you know? So I have to say that this guy, I was never a fan of his in general. I didn't see the appeal of his show when I watched his show. And this was way before... Excuse me one moment. Just had to adjust my headphones. This is way before this had anything to do with politics. When he was doing his Parts Unknown and other shows, I honestly was bored. I watched them. Some people told me, oh, you got to watch these. They're fantastic. You know, okay. I watched it. I didn't really see much that attracted me. It really felt... It felt kind of just like you were following some random dude. I didn't see anything that charming about him. I didn't see him as that charismatic individual. He seemed like a kind of person that I really would not want to hang around with, to be honest with you. And the fact that he said that he would want to poison a sitting president because feels and politics and all that, you know. See, this is the thing. I'm a First Amendment guy. By all means, I'm very much a First Amendment guy. I have no issue with people saying, I don't like this person, I like this person. I don't like this politician, I like this politician. I don't like this policy, I like this policy. I don't agree with gay marriage, I agree with gay marriage. Anything that people want to express under the First Amendment, super A-OK with me. I have no issue with that. In fact, I encourage it. I am absolutely for free speech. It's in my bio. And all my social media, I put hashtag 1A because I am a big proponent of First Amendment, big proponent of the Constitution. I think those two, I think the Constitution is an essential document that one could almost argue quasi-divinely inspired in the sense that there's so much forward thinking and forethought put into that document. So I'm perfectly okay with people expressing their opinion about something. However, under the Constitution, under the law, there are those little carvings that say, well, you can't incite violence, you can't threaten a sitting president. And some people will claim, oh, he was joking. Yeah, well, if I was caught saying that, if I said that and then all of a sudden I get Secret Service knocking on my door, what excuse do you think you'd use? I know what I'd use. Oh, I was just kidding. I wasn't serious about that. I was a little joke. No biggie. Just kidding. So that's the refuge of a coward when they make a statement and then they say, "Oh, I was just kidding. I wasn't serious about it. I was just messing around." I mean, this guy. Let's be fair for a moment. All right, let's take off the political hat for a moment. This guy obviously had problems. He had a lot of problems. He had failed relationships. I think he had substance abuse. He had all sorts of issues, which led to him committing suicide. Obviously, this man was not a stable man. I would even argue he probably wasn't that sane an individual in the sense that he probably had a lot of... not that he's insane, but he probably had psychological issues. that affected him. Obviously, he committed suicide. He had psychological issues. For people that are like him, I want to send a message out, a public service announcement, as you will. If you will. Don't be that way. And I know that's going to sound very calloused and superficial, but hear me out. Whatever emotions you have, and this is to all my SJW, cancer feminists, ultra-liberal, Democrats, socialists, commies, and incredibly stupid people like AOC. She's coming up in the conversation soon enough, don't worry. Just stop. Recognize signs of issues. Recognize when you are not living within reality. Recognize when you have such a problem that could lead to that conclusion of suicide. So that's my public service announcement. Get help. Get the help you need. And this isn't just saying that all liberals are mental cases. No. I'm saying in general. Mental illness is a serious thing that needs to be addressed, and it's not. That's why we have shootings, because the real issue is not being addressed. Broken families are not being addressed. Mental health issues are not being addressed. A whole slew of issues, and I probably will do an episode dedicated to gun violence, gun control, or multiple, because Lord knows something's going to happen again, and I'm going to have to put forth my thoughts on that as well. So it is what it is. We're gonna do what we have to do, and we'll keep moving on here. I don't want to drag too much time talking about this, like just drag on and on and on, because really that's what it boils down to, is that this guy, he had issues. It led to his death by his own hands. And he was not a pleasant man. He's not someone to be celebrated. Andrew Zimmer was saying, oh, he was a very charismatic man, and when he entered the room, everybody tilted toward him. That's meaningless. Absolutely meaningless. You can be a very charismatic man like, say, Bill Clinton, and be a rapist. But he's charismatic. Right? Well, anyways. Moving along here. I got to take a quick look at the chats here, see if anybody wants to interact. By all means, if you want to interact, say anything. I may turn on text-to-speech. I usually do text-to-speech on bitwave.tv/theeternalabyss. So I'm going to show bitwave.tv for just a moment here. That's my primary streaming page, because bitwave.tv means free speech. They're not paying me to say any of this. I'm saying this because it's true. You can say just about anything on there as long as you follow principles of free speech. So that's why that's my primary source. And then if you miss episodes, obviously check them out on, I upload them to YouTube, and I upload videos to BitChute. So moving on to the next order of business. They all come out of the woodwork, don't they? If you haven't heard about this knucklehead right here. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is a biggie. This is a biggie. Let me open up. I'm gonna play this one. Hopefully the audio will pipe through properly. You guys got to hear this. That's right. Hold up. Let's turn the volume up. And I'm going to ensure here that the volume. Let's play this. I want you guys to hear this, and I'll make my comment.
Victim.
You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished. Which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. it hurt. It just
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to. Victim.
Wow. Let me just take a moment here to collect my thoughts, because there could be just a stream of consciousness coming out about this lady. First of all, apart from what she said, let's backtrack a moment, because that's the most obvious point. Take a look at her mannerisms. Take a look at how she moves, how she positions her facial expressions. Let's look here towards the end. Look at this again.
You're fascinating to talk to.
Look at that. Like, she's in her own world. This lady is not in this plane of reality. She's insane. Okay, but let's not get into that. Okay, I'm not an expert. I'm not a psychologist. Whatever. Let's disregard all that. Rape is sexy? Excuse me? What? I don't even know where to begin with that one. Okay. Yes. Believe it or not, I have read articles. Don't ask me how this came up into my reading list, but I have read articles that there are some people, a tiny, minuscule minority of women who have these sort of fantasies. Okay, that's fine, but this isn't really the best platform for her to talk about this sort of thing. Okay? If you're at a, I don't know, bondage or kink convention, that would make a lot more sense. Or, if you were in a therapy session, it would make a lot more sense. And if I'm not mistaken, she has a background in psychology, if memory serves. I could be wrong on that one. Maybe that's why her perception of this sort of thing is really goofy, really loopy. I'm not sure. That could explain a lot. I mean, just looking at her, if my memory is correct and she is actually in psychology, that would explain a whole slew of things, okay? So, yeah, that's amazing to me. I just find it so funny how fast Cooper Anderson was like, oh, let's go to commercial, And she just like continues talking as if she's in her own world. She's on her own planet. And then it was kind of weird. The thing that I find very interesting about this whole line of conversation, first of all, the fact that this whole line of conversation is even happening kind of blows my gourd a little bit. But beyond that, the fact that she made it explicitly clear in her book that she explained in graphic detail what allegedly happened in that dressing room, where sexual acts occurred. Her words, her accusations, her allegations, which are absolutely unfounded, untrue. Anybody with a brain can probably figure that out, but we won't get into that at this moment. How can she now claim in a separate interview, contradicting herself, saying, "Oh no, there's nothing sexual about it"? Really? Because from the graphic description that you put forth in your book, sounds pretty sexual to me. So I'm not entirely sure where she's coming off on this. Again, I actually feel bad. I feel bad for women that are put forth to do this women that are put forth to do this sort of thing by I don't know who. that attorney there's a picture of her with that same attorney that was paying off women to accuse Kavanaugh, was it? And Trump, I think. I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now. But she's pictured with that attorney. So that attorney paid out people. There's political people that want Trump taken down in any way possible. And if not, just constantly put in a bad light. Because they're trying to portray Trump as an unpopular president, which couldn't be farther from the truth. His rallies are 25 times the number of any Democrat. I would even venture to guess that if you put together all the rallies, like take the biggest rallies that all of the Democrats have done, these candidates, creepy pedophile Joe, Pocahontas, Horizontal Harris, Wavy Arms, Beta Beto, de Blasio, I think he had 8 people at one. You put all those together, they wouldn't even fill a quarter of a stadium that Trump fills. Plus, let's not even consider the approval rating of President Trump. He's got over 50%. Last I checked, I think it was 56 or 57. And that is with all their manipulations and depending on how they ask the questions and who they're asking and all this negative coverage. Can you imagine the number if there was honest reporting? Could you possibly imagine the number? I would venture to guess that it's easily in the mid-60s. This might be hyperbole. It probably is. But because they were so off on all these polls before, I would even venture to guess maybe close to even 70% approval. Americans are doing well under Trump. Financially, they're doing well. Jobs-wise, they're doing well. The world is actually respecting the U.S. a lot, way more than they did under Obama. I mean, just look at it. North Korea hasn't done much anymore. They're kind of playing ball. They're working with the administration. Mexico is doing more for immigration than the Democrats. China backed off on their tariff war. They're actually going along with what Trump is doing. The UK and Trump are going to work on their deal for Brexit, whatever the trade deals are. Who else? Good Lord. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And now people are saying, oh, Iran, he's going to screw up Iran. I don't think so. I think Iran's going to do the same posturing that North Korea did. They're going to do the same posturing that they always do. And that's all they're going to be able to do is just posture. Maybe shoot down a thing or two. But I think that Trump was wise to not get goaded into a conflict from the get-go. I think that it was wise for him to do that. But moving on to the next topic, because I want to lay into the border crisis. So Trump has said that he was going to do some massive deportations, right? Let me bring that up here. Let me, oops. Here we are. There were some massive deportations, and Trump decided that at the request of the Democrats, as he types out here, I don't really do a good impression of Trump. I could try at the request of the Democrats, I have delayed the illegal immigration removal process, deportation, for 2 weeks to see if Democrats and Republicans can get together and work out a solution to the asylum and loophole problems in the southern border. If not, deportation starts. For real. Not kidding. I'm going to be the best at it. All right. That's my impression of Trump. It's probably horrible. I'll work on it. And I do that with respect and love, actually. I'm not doing that to be mean to Trump. I'm not trying to make fun of him. Yeah, this is really, really, it's a bit disappointing, honestly. I understand. I understand it. Because I'm kind of the same way. I want to try and work with people, no matter what side of the aisle they are. No matter like in any situation that I've been in, being in academia, corporate, organizations, volunteer work, private projects. If I'm working with groups of people, no matter who the other person is at the other side of the table, I try to work with them. I get it. I absolutely get it. And he's trying to reach across the aisle, which is actually admirable for any president to do. However, once you given the track record of Pelosi, given the track record of Schumer, given the track record of the Democrats, who essentially the Democrats are domestic terrorists. Let's just say it for what it is. They are. They don't uphold their oath of offices. They're actively working against the Constitution of the United States. And they're doing everything they can to dismantle the United States of America, ruin its safety, ruin its economy, ruin its people. They want to destroy it from within. The Democrats are a cancer. I'm going to say it one more time. Democrats are a cancer. And I'm not talking about like those more middle-of-the-road Democrats. I'm talking about the AOCs, the Ilhan Omars, the Tlaibs, the Pelosi's, the Schumers, those kind of people that the Blumenthals and the de Blasios, these socialists that disguise themselves as Democrats, these SJW liberals, borderline communists or full-fledged communists like Bernie Sanders, these people are an imminent threat to our republic. Now, obviously, I'm not advocating to go out and do anything violent or anything like that. What I am advocating for is go out there, register Republicans to vote, be active, go out into your communities. There's a lot more support for Donald Trump than you think. You may not believe it. You may even live in a very blue state. Trust me. Have conversations with people. And I mentioned this in other streams before. I try to offer suggestions on how to communicate to folks on the other side. Throughout my entire academic history and beyond, I've had to work with people that were polar opposites of my belief structure and beliefs in general. Politically, religiously, culturally, societally, everything. You learn to talk to them, and you have to learn to talk to these people because as soon as they hear something, they will go crazy. And obviously, you have to do it in the right context. Don't start bringing up politics at your workplace. Don't start bringing up politics like at Thanksgiving dinner or something like that. Though, actually, I would even encourage you to talk to family members because that's where things really start is within the home. You need to make sure everybody's on the same page politically. But essentially, you have to learn to communicate. And let me give you an example. What I mean, like if someone says, "Are you a Trump supporter?" as if that's a negative thing, you can turn that around and put it in the light of truth, which the truth is, you could say, I support Trump like I support the office of the President of the United States. I support our president because I want our nation to be successful. You don't like the individual. I didn't like Obama. But I never went around threatening like Bourdain, saying that I was going to poison him. I never went around dressed up in like a little black hoodie, covering my face like a coward, like Antifa people do, saying to go and actually commit acts of violence against people. I never advocated for that. The left does. The socialists do. The fascist left does. Democrats do. because Democrats in Congress right now advocate and encourage this sort of thing with their language. So that's where the difference lies, and that's how you have to, and that's what I mean about communicating with people. Towards the end there, I got a bit more harsher with the language, but you get the drift of what I mean is to be able to take what they're trying to show as a negative and turn it into a net positive. You know, and I think that's the secret to success when it comes to talking to people. You may not necessarily win them over, but at least you can have if the person is civil, of course, because it also depends on who you're talking to. Don't waste time with someone who's like an Antifa person. They're not going to be willing to listen to you because their head is so filled with garbage and bias. They can't tell up from down, left from right. They're absolutely out of their minds. But if you're just having a casual conversation with someone, there are ways to converse about this sort of topic without going into incredibly like crazy stuff. But going back to Trump's Twitter feed here, let me bring up another. So let me just check here what I got up. Okay. So he's talking about that at the request of the Democrats, he's providing some time. He wants to, and this is the other tweet that he talked about the next day, and I'll show you this here. The next day, he tweets, "I want to give Democrats every last chance to quickly negotiate simple changes to asylum and loopholes. This will fix the southern border together with the help that Mexico is now giving us, because believe it or not, Mexico is actually doing more than Democrats are." He says probably won't happen, but worth a try. 2 weeks and big deportation begins. Okay, fine. If you want to give the Democrats one final crack at fixing this whole thing, be my guest. But these are the same people that were happy that Iran shot down a drone because they thought you were going to get dragged into a war, Mr. President. So I don't doubt you know what you're doing. But as a concerned citizen, I still want to express my concern for trying so hard to reach out and work with them. I get it. Again, I absolutely get it, but I think it's best to just move on, do what you need to do, and get these things fixed once and for all. One interesting thing that came about with this whole absolute debacle was that people were making outlandish claims. About like the number of deportations and all the craziness that happened. For example, you would think that ABC News, being a news outlet, would be a little bit more careful on the facts. I mean, yeah, I know, fake news, I know that. And they are fake news. ABC, you people are horrible. Absolute fake news. Here's a reply. When it comes to someone, Eric Herpes Lips Swalwell here, who's still polling at 0, and somehow made it onto the stage for the debate. Go figure. He made a ridiculous claim on the 22nd saying, "If you're Hispanic, there's nothing real Donald Trump won't do to break up your family, cage your children, or erase your existence with a weaponized census. And there's nothing we won't do in the streets, courts, and the ballot box to stop them. Families belong together, hashtag." Okay, first of all, this nutcase here, this is so incredibly racist. So incredibly racist to assume that an entire ethnic group of people are all illegals. Are you kidding me? Anyone that's Hispanic should be insulted by that. And I mean insulted big time. I'm not even kidding. This is ridiculous that you would say something like that. And he hasn't apologized for it. Nobody has put any pressure on him because Democrats can say whatever racist, homophobic, Islamophobic, which actually Islamophobia isn't something that really exists because, well, whatever. That's a whole different discussion. But anyways, anti-Semitic, racist, they can say whatever they want. Like this herpes lips guy, I call him. There's something seriously wrong with his lips. I don't know what's going on with that. But he was talking about that sort of thing. And this lovely lady here said something very apropos when it came to what he was talking about, as well as ABC News. Because ABC News put out a tweet here. I'm assuming this is accurate, the screenshot. It's not a doctored one. Saying POTUS has deported more people than any other president, which is absolutely not true. Obama actually did do deportations, believe it or not. He did 2.5 million between 2009 and 2015. And 91% of them, of the deportees in 2015, previously convicted of a crime. And to my understanding, from what I've seen here, according to like the data they got here, they cite it. It seems accurate to me. There may be some slight variation with the numbers depending on which source you look at, but no, Obama did do deportations. Yet, he wasn't portrayed as a xenophobe. He wasn't portrayed as a racist. He wasn't portrayed as someone trying to break families up and weaponize the census and erase your existence and cage your children. Which actually, that's the funny thing too. A lot of pictures that have come up of kids in cages were in 2014 and 2015. And guess who was president during that time? The O-hole, Barack Obama, that's right. All right, so because of this whole nonsense that the Democrats keep bringing up, another issue has come up with the most idiotic... Oh, actually, before I go into that, speaking of deportations, I sincerely hope this is true. I sincerely hope this is true. I saw this tweet, and I was just laughing so hard at it. Because it's a lawsuit, apparently a lawsuit filed demanding the deportation of Ilhan Omar. That would be brilliant. That would be so funny if that happens. Oh my gosh. But anyway, she did commit fraud. She committed immigration fraud because she married her brother. There's a lot of evidence that points to her doing that. So. And she's a garbage, horrible human being. I don't like using that sort of language like the left does, saying, "Oh, you're a garbage human." No, I'm not gonna really. Actually, I'm gonna retract what I just said. I'm just gonna say this about her. She doesn't even deserve to be called human, in my opinion. From her behaviors, her language, what she's trying to do. And the fact that she got her seat by committing all sorts of frauds, not only legal, but she also committed immoral acts that you shouldn't be doing, that sort of thing, if we want to really talk about morality. She's a terrible person. She is not a good person. And, ultimately she's going to have to face her judgment one day. And, whatever. She's going to have to deal with that. But oh goodness, that's just amazing to me. So another thing that's come up with this whole ridiculous stupidness of the border crisis that was essentially created by the Democrats. Since 2016, Trump has been talking about immigration, the wall, build the wall, that Mexico's going to pay for it, all that fun stuff. This immigration issue isn't anything new either. I mean, this existed since Reagan. Democrats lied during the time of Reagan. They promised him, hey, give amnesty to these people. We'll give you all the barrier you want. We'll give you all the immigration reform you want. We'll do whatever you want. Just give them amnesty. Give them amnesty. Reagan, unfortunately, fell for the ploy, gave a bunch of people amnesty that were illegally here, and now we find ourselves in the same situation. So you have this idiot, one of the stupidest people on this planet. I can't even begin to express how stupid this woman is. It's beyond me. It is absolutely beyond me how absolutely stupid this woman is. And look at this. In 2018, because obviously this came about after the election, so there's been a lot of talk of immigration between 2016 and 2018. This woman planned on running for that seat that she was planning on winning, at which she also committed electoral fraud for that, election finance fraud. And I want to show you this. Let's look at these pictures in close up. This is so obviously staged. So obviously staged. Look at this. She's all primed and proper, all dressed, looking straight into the camera. Look at that. And you have tourists behind her. They're like, yeah, whatever. People on the other side with the cars, I think that's ICE. There's nothing happening on the other side. There is nothing happening on the other side. And she's putting on this show for a camera. Look at that. Look at these people. The guy's looking on his cell phone. These are tourists. I don't know if they're tourists or they're people just, I don't know exactly what's going on here, but they don't seem distraught in any shape, way, or form. This guy's playing, Candy Crush Saga. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Well, that may be I don't know if that's a cell phone or not, but I have seen those cell phones with the open case, like that. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. She's not fooling anybody. This is so staged, it's not even funny. These people look like tourists. Or they look like they're visiting for one reason or another, and she's the only one having this whole little crisis here, which is absolutely stupid. It's so staged. So staged. And this numbnuts here, this is the other thing that really pisses me off about this woman, is that she says the stupidest things on this planet, and everybody rushes to defend her on the left, as if she said something actually valid. For 6 or 7 days now, she's been going on and on about how the U.S. are building concentration camps, which is a horrifying thing to say. Absolutely horrifying thing to say. Are you kidding me? You got to be kidding me. I don't think you know what you're talking about when it comes to that sort of thing. You do not understand the gravity of the words that are coming out of your mouth, little girl. You absolutely have no clue. You are a vacant lot for a skull. You are the stupidest human being on this planet. Go to Auschwitz. Talk to old-timers that survived the war. And I'm not even talking about the Holocaust in that case. I'm even talking about just anybody that went through the war. You have no idea what it means to suffer. You have no clue whatsoever. And this is what pisses me off about these kind of people like her, the self-righteousness that is not based on any level of reality. And she has been called out over and over and over, and she keeps doubling down and doubling down and doubling down. And then you have moronic people like Pelosi who says, the Republicans try and twist everything. Really? Even if that were the case, it was her words. Her own words. There's nothing to twist when you yourself said it. So I'm flabbergasted when it comes to this woman. I cannot believe how stupid she is. I absolutely can't believe it. It just wow. You know, I don't expect everybody to be Einstein. Not at all. But I do expect people to have a modicum of gray matter in their head to realize what the hell they're actually saying when they're saying something so incredibly stupid. It just wow. I'm at a loss sometimes with this woman. Not because I wouldn't know what to reply to what she's saying. It's just, you know, when it's kind of like getting hit on the head by something, and you're just standing there in a daze going, I can't believe that happened. This is the experience I have on a daily basis when I read this woman's tweets. I read her tweet, and I'm like sitting there in a daze going, can a human being that stupid really exist? Is this a parody? It completely blows my mind. And I love how social media tries to protect her. And this is the last thing that I wanted to talk about. And I don't have a visual or anything for it. But I do have a video that I'm going to be putting up. It's the Google video from the undercover video from Project Veritas, because Google and YouTube are trying to suppress it. Well, guess what? I'm going to put it up on just about any platform I can. I'm going to put it up on my BitChute. I'm gonna re-upload it to YouTube, even though I already have a ban. So who knows? I already can't live stream on YouTube, so maybe that'll actually perma-ban me before I even get a chance to do anything with YouTube. But we'll see what happens with that. And hey, you know, we'll see what happens with that. And if there are any I actually sync my YouTube library to Libr, I believe it's called, Libr. Let me check the name of that real quick. Library. Library is how you pronounce it. L as in Louis, B as in boy, R as in rabbit, Y as in yellow. LBRY. And it's interesting because it's supposed to be a completely YouTube alternative, but it's not really web-based in the sense that it syncs to YouTube, but it's a software, and people can use credits to upload and download. So it's an interesting kind of model that they're using. Is it going to be successful? Who knows? I really can't say. But the one thing I will say is that if there are any other platforms out there that you can upload this video, do it. Put it up on Vimeo. Put it up on Dailymotion. Put it up on, Facebook, even though Facebook will probably ban it. Anything. Make this video show up everywhere. Google will not be able to stop this. They won't be able to stop 2020. Trump will win, Google. Listen to me, Google. Google, look at me. Look at me. Trump will win. There's nothing you can do. Doesn't matter. The more you censor us, and this goes for Twitter, Facebook. So Zuckerberg, listen up. Jack Dorsey, listen up. I don't remember the name of the Google exec guy, but everybody at Google, listen up. Doesn't matter. You can ban us all. It won't change a thing. It will not. Because what's important isn't the people that are online. Yeah, it is important, but what's important is who goes to vote. A lot of people don't fully pay attention to what's happening on social media, don't fully pay attention to the news, don't fully pay attention to propaganda that's being pushed out by you. They are just living their lives, the vast majority of people. They want to go out, they're going to vote, and you know how they're going to vote? They're going to vote with their wallets. They're not going to want to pay more taxes. They're going to want higher wages, lower unemployment, more jobs, better trade deals. They're going to want security. They're going to want everything that Donald Trump is delivering on. And you know what? He is delivering on every promise. So that means you ain't got nothing. Yeah, play God in your little playgrounds, but that's all you got is a little sandbox. You have a sandbox castle, and that's it. So, I think that'll wrap it up for me for episode 7. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. I'm trying to streamline these things a little bit more. I'm actually thinking of doing the streams instead of, I was trying to do just a weekly thing and do like a 1 hour block or so like I just did. I'm beginning to think I may want to break it up a little bit and maybe do a couple streams, maybe cover one topic, and then kind of either take the text to speech from chat and kind of interact with the chat, or maybe figure out some other ways to kind of make everything more digestible here, because an hour video is a long video. It's absolutely a long video, and for those that sit and watch, I've gotten a lot of views on BitChute, and I really appreciate it. For those that watch at least sit through most of it, I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to try and see what I can do to kind of break things up a little bit moving forward so the snippets are smaller. And, see if there are ways to make it more interactive. Like I was saying, if you're part of the chat, you hear that we can do some chat interaction, or people can join the Discord and have a conversation or a debate or things like that, just to make it more interesting. But I think that's going to wrap it up for episode 7 of The Abyss. I want to thank everybody who watched. I hope that Periscope went through successfully. I don't see any errors or any weirdness, so it seems like it went through okay. And I'm going to be regularly using those now for my live streams. Hit my microphone. I knew that was going to happen. I'm going to regularly use bitwave.tv, dlive.tv, and the Periscopes will be up when I'm live streaming. If you're not really interested in politics and you just want to, shoot the breeze, relax, have some fun, I have an alternate non-political account, The Eternal Gamer. On Twitter, it's The Eternal Game #2, because apparently Gamer was taken. And I stream on Twitch, I stream on Mixer, I stream on Bitwave, and I stream on DLive. So under that pseudonym there, under The Eternal Gamer. So if you search for either The Eternal Abyss or The Eternal Gamer on Twitch, Mixer, what have you, you'll probably find one or both of the accounts. Definitely add me, share, follow. And that's a politics-free zone. I like to enjoy my games, and I like to stream them, and I like to have some fun with that, and I like interacting with people without always having to get into a political debate. So that's the fun non-politics stream side of things. However, moving forward, like I said, most likely for now I'm going to stick to a weekly thing. So episode 8, we're going to try and do next week, see what happens during the week, and see what topics we'll come up with. Or I may even start doing a little bit of a breakup of topics between now and that episode. We'll see. Hopefully by episode 10, we'll have a pretty decent format nailed down. And I'm open to suggestions. So if folks want to drop some tweets in my thread, reply to the episode, to the podcast, not podcast. I'm sorry, to the Periscope tweet. Please reply. Let me know what you think. If you think this is a great format, if you think it can be improved, if you think there's anything that I can add or subtract to the whole thing that I'm doing here to make it even more entertaining and more engaging, let me know. But please follow, support creators, consider donating. Not just for me. If you want to donate for me, I appreciate it. But consider also donating to other conservatives and conservative creators that are being silenced and censored and kicked off platforms left and right. And that's it for me. Have a great night, kids. Thanks for watching The Abyss, and I will catch you soon.